You're watching the Weiss channel. So we're going to continue with square roots. Okay, here are the perfect squares, 1 through 10. Right? And here are the perfect squares, 11 through 20. Right? Okay. So we're going to talk about, or I'm going to talk about complex numbers or negative square roots, complex numbers, negative radicals, also called imaginary numbers, okay? So we're going to start with what's square root of negative 1. See, there's no possible way to take the square root of negative 1. Okay, square root of positive 1 is 1, because 1 times 1 is 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is also positive 1. So you can't take the square root of negative 1, so we call that I, right? So some people say I times square root of 1, which is I times 1 or I, right? But the square root of negative 1 is I, okay? I for imaginary, okay? So the square root of negative 6, all right, we say is I square root of 6. There's no more simplifying you can do there. That's all it is. I square root of 6. In other words, it's an imaginary number. Now, square root of negative 12, we break down just like we would if it was square root of 12. But we put the negative with the perfect square. 4 is a perfect square. So we say negative, square root of negative 4, square root of 3. So the square root of negative 4 is 2i, and then 2i square root of 3. That's it. Square root of negative 40. What perfect square goes into 40? Well, 4. So we're going to say square root of negative 4, square root of 10. Square root of negative 4 is 2i, square root of 10. What perfect square goes into 50? Well, 25. So we're going to say square root of negative 25 times square root of 2. That's going to be 5i square root of 2. Square root of negative 63. All right, well, what perfect square goes into 63? 9. So it's going to be square root of negative 9, square root of 7. What's the square root of negative 9? 3i, square root of 7. You've been watching the Weiss channel.